Hey, it's Ken from ClickFix.io, and I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for requesting access to our 5 best list cleanup and database reactivation campaigns. Now, if you don't know who I am, I've been building automated marketing and business operations systems for over a decade. I got my Ontraport expert certification back in 2017, and ever since, my partner Thomas and I have been building tools to help people get the most out of their Ontraport accounts. The 5 campaigns you've just been given access to are all battle-tested across a wide range of industries. When deployed properly, they're guaranteed to help you clean up your list, reactivate dead leads, and get more emails into inboxes. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you real quick how to access your brand new campaigns. And if you stay till the end, I'm also going to show you exactly how to guarantee that you only get real, valid emails and phone numbers from people that opt in for your offers. Yep, you're going to learn exactly how to keep the fake information, misspellings, and mistyped emails and phone numbers from ever making it onto your list in the first place. Still with me? All right, so let's jump into Ontraport and I'll show you exactly where to find your free gifts. Once you've logged into your account, go ahead and navigate to the campaigns and click on the New Campaign button. Here we're going to click on the Shared With Me tab. And you should see all 5 of those campaigns sitting there. They will probably have a ribbon set that says New on them, and they are the ClickFix Advanced Engagement Tagging, ClickFix 9-word email, Time Trigger, 9-word email, Interest Trigger, Prospect Interest Tagging, and the Single Double Opt-in. Oh, and by the way, if you're not seeing what I'm seeing here on the screen, it means that you didn't sign up with the email address that you used to sign into your Ontraport account. So if you accidentally used a different email, just put your Ontraport account inside of the form that's on the thank you page here next to the video. And that'll go ahead and reload the page, and once that's done, you'll be able to continue following along with this video. So if you click on any of these campaigns, it's going to go ahead and import it directly into your account, where you can start to make all the changes and personalizations in order to make this jive with your current industry messaging. Now, inside of each, you're going to see that there is a checklist that you can access by clicking on the checklist icon here. And there's also an overview video in each one that kind of walks you through the idea behind the campaign, as well as what exactly needs to be changed. And that reflects the same thing you're going to see here on the checklist. It'll just tell you where you need to jump in, make the changes to brand it to your business, or give you some options on what you can either delete or add to the campaigns to make them even more powerful. These 5 campaigns are going to have a huge impact on list health and email deliverability over time. But what if I told you that there's a simple way to automatically give your email marketing campaigns an instant boost, even without needing to run list cleanup and database reactivation campaigns? According to email deliverability experts like the ones at Glock Apps, as much as 51% of emails never even hit the inbox. About half of those end up in spam, and the other half simply don't get delivered at all. Now, I won't bore you with all the technical details of why that happens, but basically there are 4 main reasons. Domain reputation, which is how providers like Google, Yahoo, Outlook, AOL, and others view your domain in terms of credibility. Authorization failure, which is technical stuff like SPF, DKIM, and other protocols that tell the email servers that the emails come from who they say they're from. So it avoids phishing and spoofing, where somebody maybe is trying to imitate sending from Amazon or something like that. IPs being blacklisted, whether or not your domain or Ontraport's IP address for emails has been blacklisted for sending too many undesirable, spammy, or otherwise unwanted messages. And also risky content, which is too many images or using URL shorteners, subject lines that are spammy, and a whole bunch of other signals that these email providers like to flag as spam. Now, risky content is an easy fix, right? Because Ontraport even gives you tools like the subject line grader to help you understand if you're maybe raising red flags. Now, the rest of the warning signs found in the body of the email are also simple to fix. I mean, obviously you just stop using so many images, or you stop using URL shorteners to redirect people to links that you want them to visit. And in general, just deliver great content that people want to hear about. For the IP being blacklisted and authorization failures, Ontraport has a whole department dedicated to email deliverability that you can talk to if you want to make sure that the tech side of things is as dialed in and buttoned up as possible. But today I actually want to focus more on the domain reputation side of things. And specifically, I want to talk about email bounces, which play a big part in getting your domain flagged, lowering your open and engagement rates, and ultimately landing more of your emails in the spam folder. Now, a bounce is simply when an email is sent back to the sender because the email address it was trying to deliver to doesn't work, or it's too full, or whatever. Now, these can be things like hard bounces, which are basically emails that are non-existent or just simply undeliverable, or they can be soft bounces where emails maybe are temporarily, or email inboxes are maybe temporarily unavailable because the mailbox is full or somebody's on vacation or auto reply. Or it could simply be that the emails are being blocked either because the spam filters are really picking things up based on the IP blacklisting or authorization failure from your domain, or your actual email provider is blocking their email because it's being seen as a spammy email address or a spam trap or any of these other technical things that are out there. And then of course there are just other random reasons that don't warrant enough to have made it onto this particular graphic. Now, why should you care about bounces at all? I mean, they're just part of the game, right? Well, the first reason is because it directly impacts your email deliverability. And most of the major email providers monitor your bounce rate to basically give you a credibility score. And this is especially true for places like Gmail and Outlook. The higher the bounce rate, the lower your score, and the more likely it is that they're going to send your emails to spam or promotions or simply not deliver them at all. Now, why is that? Well, because if people don't trust you enough to give you real working contact information, the AI over at Gmail and Outlook and AOL kind of figures that you're probably not delivering messages that people actually want to hear. Now, the second reason is because having these emails in your account can distort the reality of how many contacts you actually have. Now, in some cases, they can even cost you money since they take up part of your contact and sending quota when they first hit your list. But finally, the most important reason is that having this fake data basically is going to affect your profits. If you're paying for leads, the traffic networks are only going to report on how many people actually make it to the thank you page, not how many real deliverable emails were actually collected. So let's take a look at a real world example of this. And jump over to a client account here, kind of change the data to keep everybody's privacy. Now, inside of this actual campaign, there are 47,118 contacts. But I've made a group, and we're going to call that group Hard Bounces. And we're going to take a look here, and we're going to see how many of those are just undeliverable emails. And we come up with 2,233 contacts. If you divide those two numbers, you're going to figure out that that's about 4.7% of his list. As just an FYI on the topic of email deliverability and domain reputation, if you get over 5% bounces in a short period of time, a lot of those email service providers like Gmail are actually going to blacklist your domain pretty quick. But let's step back from that and let's talk only about the money aspect of this for a second. This particular client pays for traffic, and his average lead cost is about $5. So if we multiply $5 by 2,233 contacts, we find out that he basically lit $11,165 on fire, because people either mistyped their emails or flat out gave him phony info in hopes of getting access to his lead magnet on the other end of the opt-in. I invite you to, after you watch this video, of course, go back and check just how many of your emails on your list are hard bounces too. It's simple to do. All you have to do is just come over and make a group. All right, so you just say new group, and we're going to just edit this group for the sake of brevity. And you're just going to select the field bulk email status equal to hard bounce, and that's it. And that'll tell you exactly how many of the emails that you've collected over time are actual hard bounces, which are undeliverable emails. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that emails actually degrade over time to the tune of about 22% year over year. So it could have been a real email address when you first collected it, but then over time they just stopped using it, or for whatever reason it went down. So email deliverability is something that needs constant updating and constant maintenance, which is why we gave you those 5 campaigns. Now, if you don't pay for traffic, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, I'm okay because all of my contacts are organic, so they don't cost me anything. That's wrong. Now, if you thought that the 4.7% that I showed you on that example list was high, out of the last 100 million emails verified by our sister company in 2019, 23.51% of them would have bounced if they had made it onto people's email lists. That means nearly 1 in every 4 emails had a 0 chance of being read. And as you know, nobody gets 100% open rates for the emails that do actually get delivered. In fact, according to email benchmark studies like the one from Campaign Monitor, only about 18% of emails ever do get opened across all the different industries. Want to see how that all plays out when you've sent around 150,000 total emails? Now, I know that may sound like a lot of emails, but realistically, if you have about 5,000 people on your list and you send out around 30 emails across your newsletters, funnels, and other communications, you're going to hit that number over the course of about a year. So let's dive into the numbers and take a look here. So this potential bounce rate is that 23.51% that I mentioned before, which is a percentage of emails collected that would have bounced based on those last 100 million verifications that happened in 2019. Now, if we're taking 150,000 as the amount of emails that you would send across all of your campaigns over a given time, and the open rate of 17.8%, which was what we found in the Campaign Monitor benchmark score, and a click rate of about 2.6%, which of course is the percentage of emails with a CTA being clicked after they've been sent and delivered. And let's say that roughly 7% of people who actually registered or subscribed expressed an interest after arriving on the landing page that they came to after clicking on the call to action in an email. So basically, this is the percentage of people who either opted in or scheduled a call or did whatever the next action was. And roughly about 20%, let's say, turn into an actual purchase on the back end of that. If your product, let's take another assumption, and let's say that you're selling something for about $1,000, and let's say that, like the system that we're using, you are able to validate as much as 99% of the emails that are going through the system. So before email verification, that 150,000 actually gets cut down to about 114,000 here for the delivery. Then the open rate based on the nearly 18% is only about 20,000 and a half here. Click-through rate would be about 2,900, almost 3,000 people actually clicking to see the offer. 7% means that just over 200 actually take you up on the action, but then only 1 in 5 actually do something, which is meaning making a purchase in this instance. So that's only 41 people, right? So that's not too bad, based on that $1,000 product cost, we're looking at about $41,000 in revenue generated. But if you take that same 150,000 basically emails and you have a 99% accuracy on them actually being deliverable, that takes that number all the way up to 148,500 actual emails being delivered, which means that 26,433 of them get open, which is 6,000 more, which means that 3,800 instead of 2,900 actually get clicks, which means that you're having 270 chances to make a sale, and that same 1 in 5 conversion rate means that 54 or a full 13 additional people actually make a purchase. That's 13 grand in your pocket for no extra work on your part. So you can see by now that making sure that you have more emails actually hitting the inbox or actually being deliverable is very important to your bottom line. In other words, between what you're losing by paying for bad leads on the front end and what you're not earning by not having more of your emails actually being delivered could be measured in the hundreds of thousands over the lifetime of your business. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Well, I'm telling you because I wanted to make it abundantly clear that while our 5 campaigns are going to do a lot for your business, they are reactive tools. They work on getting rid of bad apples that have already made it onto your list. If you really want to avoid things like lower email deliverability because of high bounce rates, wasted ad spend, and missed sales opportunities, you need to take a preventative approach. That's why we developed a simple tool that gives you full control over the emails and even the phone numbers that make it onto your list in the first place. With just 2 lines of code, you can make your opt-in forms bulletproof. In fact, if you turn the filters all the way up, we can guarantee 99.9% accuracy of receiving real, deliverable contact information before it ever hits your list. We wanted to make it dead simple and super affordable for everyone regardless of your current lead gen volume. So we decided to bundle it with our other tools and perks available on each tier of our membership levels. Here's a breakdown of how many credits each tier gets. For the Essential plan, you get 1,500 validations per month. For the Marketer plan, you get 15,000 validations per month. And if you're a pro user, you get 75,000 validations per month. It doesn't matter if you're using the email tool, the phone tool, or both. You can mix and match those validations to suit your needs, and each extra validation will cost you less than a penny if you do happen to go over the limits. So I encourage you to run the numbers. Below this video, you'll find a link to the spreadsheet I showed you to calculate your missed opportunity cost. I also showed you how to create a group to see your hard bounces inside of Ontraport. If either of those things tell you that you're missing out on more than $100 a month, then this is a no-brainer. Even before you factor in all the other tools, add-ons, and templates you'll get depending on the tier you choose. So now it's time to make a choice. Keep relying on list cleanup and reactivation campaigns alone to keep your deliverability high, or keep your list squeaky clean to start not only maximizing your deliverability, but to also directly impact your overall bottom line by virtually guaranteeing that every lead you generate is tied to a real person on the other end. Click on the buttons in the section below this one, test out the tools for yourself, and then decide if you're ready to optimize your email marketing efforts today.